excited to have you here with me today. Okay, so I am constantly asking you guys what content you want to see on this YouTube channel, and the number one answer is that you guys love my day in the life videos, but actually you don't want to see a day in my life. You want to see what a day in your life would look like if you got an apprenticeship doing AAT in practice. So that is exactly what we are bringing you guys today. We have Johanna, who is an AAT level 4 apprentice with us here at Strivex, and she is going to take you through a day in her life. So let's take it away.
Hi, my name is Jo. I'm an AAT level 4 apprentice, and this is actually the day in my life. The first thing for today is have a little catch up with my manager James. We'll go through year-end jobs and a few queries about VAT, and then I'll crack on with the jobs, I guess. After my meeting with James, which went really well, I'm now trying to fix a client's VAT. They have Amazon connected to their QuickBooks with A2X, and it has come out that some of the mapping is wrong, and their VAT return is due in 10 days, which means that it's quite time critical to get that correct. So that's what I'll be working on this morning, and hopefully, you know, it'll go all really well. And yeah, we get the VAT submitted at the right time. It's the very first VAT return as well, so there is a little bit of pressure on that as well to get that right. But yeah, fingers crossed. Right, now it's nearly 12 o'clock, and for most of the morning I was working on that VAT return for one of our clients. So he's selling products on Amazon, so the amount of transactions actually being fed through to his QuickBooks is quite a lot. So there's thousands and thousands of transactions. And part of this morning's job was also to speak to A2X, who is providing the bridging between the Amazon and then QuickBooks. Yeah, so that went fine. That's all hopefully sorted. I'm just waiting now for all the A2X information to update. And in the meantime, I've been working on sole trader accounts. I asked Rachel for some help because for some reason I find sole trader accounts a lot more confusing than company accounts. But hey ho, it is what it is. And now I'm just getting them ready to send to my manager for reviewing before then forwarding them on to a client with few further questions, and hopefully we'll get to finalize these accounts soon. So the client whose sole trader accounts I've been working on, she's actually working with chocolate, so she's selling chocolates, and I think she's also doing or starting to do some online courses as well. So it's a completely different business again to the one from the morning, because she's going to local farmers markets to sell her chocolates. So there are some cash transactions within the accounts, and yeah, so slightly different approach to the job, which, you know, keeps things interesting. Every day is different, all the clients are different, but that's kind of what makes it interesting, and it keeps me on my toes. And yeah, I've been now working in practice for like 4 or 5 months, and like the amount of learning I've done within those 4 or 5 months is just enormous. But you know, it's all good fun, and we have such a good team, and everybody's so helpful. And I have a great manager as well who knows pretty much everything. But yeah, you know, it's been really, really good, and I've been really enjoying my time so far, and yeah, you know, it's all going really, really well. So that's what I'll be now doing. I'll be just finishing up these accounts, and then I'll probably have some lunch. Right, I'm back from my lunch now. We obviously ate, and then we played Monopoly Deal. James won as always. Yeah, he's very happy every time he wins. The first thing he does is update the leaderboard that we have. And now, yeah, I'm just trying to clear my inbox a little bit. I have a couple of emails to send, and then I'll be back seeing James about the sole trader account to review them with him before sending them to the client to have a look at as well. Well, it's a little bit later now, and I'm actually working on another VAT return now. It's a client who is selling pampas grass online, and they've just, I think they've already transferred their VAT registration from the sole trader to the limited company. And yeah, I just need to go through all the transactions, make sure that all the purchases and all the sales are included in their VAT return, and all VAT is accounted for correctly as well. Because we are doing them sort of like backdated a little bit, they're slightly behind, unfortunately. But because the period I'm working on covers December last year up to February this year, there's also Brexit to bear in mind. So the VAT rules, they change from 1st of January. So yeah, just trying to make sure that everything is correct. So yeah, that's what I'm working on now. And hopefully by the end of the day I still have a bit of time to work on another set of accounts for a client.
Okay, so this video was very, very much requested by you guys. Hopefully we have delivered and given you a really good insight into what Johanna does in a day. The reason we wanted to talk about like Johanna's work history and like the journey up to this point is because so many people are so scared of making the transition from industry to practice, and actually for us as a practice of accountants, it's been really, really refreshing having somebody with different experiences, a different background, come into things with a different perspective, and even, you know, implementing different processes and like noticing different things. So because of Johanna's background in industry, her attention to detail and like VAT is, we literally call Johanna the VAT department because she has a real speciality in that. And I think we would both really encourage people to not let the fear of something take over and really just like push the boundaries of what you think you're capable of. And inherently, I always repeatedly say that me and Johanna are the same person, and like if you ask Johanna to say something good about herself, she'd say 4 bad things. Like it's really easy to let the fear of stuff and like your own insecurities take over, but so often other people see the good in you and like can recognize that. So as well as talking about industry versus practice, we also wanted to talk about the role, and like if you are looking for a role as a level 4 apprentice or as any level AAT apprentice, but specifically level 4, how much variety there is and how every day is different.
Every day is so different.
Accounting will always be deadline based, like there'll always be daily, monthly, quarterly, annually, like seasonal tasks, but the pure volume of different businesses that you're working with just makes it so cool and so interesting. And studying and working at the same time, like how do you find it?
To be honest, level 2, level 3, I found it quite easy. But yeah, level 4, I would definitely say it was quite a big step comparing to level 3. Working full time and studying and trying to have a life as well can be quite quite a juggle, to be honest. Me being slightly, or quite a lot, introverted. I don't have many friends. So,
She's one of us.
so I kind of feel that I get my daily dose of human interaction at work, because we have such a small office and we all get along so well. So yeah, when I'm going home, I do, watch a bit of trashy TV.
Yes. Yes.
And then yeah, I try to study at least every other day and ramp it up over the weekend. It's not easy. I wouldn't say that it's easy, but it's definitely worth it.
What are your plans for qualifications moving forwards?
So moving forwards, I had this thing that I wanted to finish my AAT level 4 before I'm 30. I am on track with that, and then I would like to move on to ACCA to become chartered accountant. So yeah, that's my plan.
Next thing, we talked about a lot of good bits. The next bit is the challenges. And the first challenge that we said we were going to talk about was how time critical a lot of the jobs that we do are.
Yes. I think this is something that I wasn't quite prepared, was how many deadlines there is and how time critical they are, because if you're late with any submissions to HMRC or Companies House, from day one they start charging you fees, late penalties, which effectively, if we get it wrong, the client needs to pay for our mistake, which is slightly terrifying. Yeah, I guess in industry I didn't really have exposure to the deadlines as much as we do here.
As accountants, it's really important to find a way that means that it's not taking over your life, and that you leave it at work and that you don't take it home. And again, hopefully Johanna agrees. I think me and James do encourage people to leave work at work, and we'll always give Johanna a nudge when it's home time and say you have to go home now. So then some of the other things that, we were planning this video, we were planning all of the points that we wanted to get across, and something that Johanna said is actually putting a value on your time is something that when you work in industry, you get paid a salary, but internally within the company, finance functions generally aren't revenue generating employees, whereas in practice you are, and everybody has a charge out rate, and that's quite a big transition for you as a person, going from somewhere where there's not revenue attached to you to there being revenue attached to you. Also, Johanna is very competitive, so that's definitely also comes into in a fun way.
I think it was just knowing how much my time is worth and how much it costs to the whole company if I'm spending too much time on something. Actually seeing a budget and seeing how many hours I should be working on a job, and if I'm doing it quicker, happy days. If I'm doing it longer, then
don't tell James.
Don't tell James. But also trying to figure out why I spent more time. Was it because the accounts were a complete mess and I had to redo the whole year, or was it because I was just not feeling it, or just being a bit slow?
The next thing that you want to talk about was how just the pure exposure that you get in such a short space of time.
Obviously our practice is very, very small, so I think when you do join a small practice, you probably get more exposure comparing to some of the very big ones. Wasn't quite prepared to, for example, on my first week to complete 3 VAT returns. And
you had a Zoom call with a client?
And I had a Zoom call with a client on my first week, also on my third week, and now I'm quite happy, to do them by myself.
We literally get insight into so many different people's businesses, and as well as looking at their accounts, and Joanna's studying and learning and seeing stuff in practice for the first time. You're also being asked questions that you've never been asked before, ranging from how does the director of a limited company take maternity pay, all the way through to like, I'm saving for a mortgage, when do you think I'll be able to apply for one? At the same time as seeing what business models work well, what personalities in business don't work well, and it just, like you say, you need a nap. We should schedule nap time for new employees. Okay, next up is Excel usage.
Every day, all the time. Literally. It just still blows my mind. Like, one of the first things I do is open Excel when I come to work. You know, it's usually emails, Google Chrome, Excel.
Yeah. We did want to talk about dreaded January and like busy times.
Apparently January is very busy, which I didn't know before I started here. And it's all because of the self-assessment tax return deadline on the 31st of January. So I'm not quite looking forward to this January. However, because December is usually quite quiet and we get a break over Christmas, I hope to, be ready for the mad January rush.
Yes, it's worth saying as well, like if you are watching this video because you're considering taking an apprenticeship or you're looking for an apprenticeship, that it's very, very common. I'd say it's quite rare to find a job in practice where you can actually take annual leave in January. So for the whole month of January, you're actually not allowed to book any annual leave because it is so time critical. Our whole life is deadline driven, so we do have a lot of time to plan getting the work done. But like Johanna said, a lot of people sort of only realise at the end of the year or at the beginning of January that they have to do a tax return, so we get a really big influx of brand new clients for the first time that are stressed and panicked, so it can be quite stressful. So we always tell people to really have a lovely Christmas and like maybe take quite an extended break over Christmas to really come back feeling rested and like go into it with a really good mindset of like, actually let's just get this done. It's one of the only times that we offer overtime, so it can be quite good on a personal level to earn a bit of extra money. If we're working late, like we just order pizza and stuff, so it very much like does some very intense team building, but it's cool though. It's cool to see it happen. It's almost sort of like an adrenaline fueled month. And again, like we're a really close team, so, and I think situations like that generally bring people quite a lot closer. Okay, so we wanted to finish on pros and cons.
To be honest, I wish I maybe made the change earlier, but if I did make the change earlier, I wouldn't work with Rachel and James, so I'm happy that I did when I did it. If I knew how tired I was going to be for the first month, I probably would have not put as much pressure on myself to, try to put, to study as well at the same time. Because like looking back at it now, I probably should have just taken a 6-week study break just to be able to settle into the new role, because yes, it's very different from what I did in industry. The worst thing, the fear of your clients getting penalties because of what you've done, basically, or what you haven't done. Like missing a deadline or telling someone that their tax payment is due 3 months after it actually is. No, I think the best bit is the job itself. To me, this is what I've always wanted to do. It's hard to put it into words because I'm just so happy. I've told that to Rachel and James as well, that I'm doing my dream job and it's absolutely worth it. It hasn't been obviously easy transition, but it's definitely worth it. I just like the job and I like the team. We have such a good balance and such a good sort of vibe in the office the whole time, and it's just really good. Yeah. I'm just so happy.
We both really hope this YouTube video has been exactly what you needed. Again, the YouTube channel is just here for you guys, so whenever I ask or put up Instagram question stickers and stuff and ask you guys what sort of content you want to see. A day in the life of an AAT apprentice is up there as like number one. So we really, really hope this has given you guys an insight into a day in the life of Johanna.